Hello, this is Warlord 12, and I need to say something about this problem with, PlayStation and Microsoft. See, I said things are really getting out of hand now with this whole. It's not just banning people, right? This also has to do with, buying video games online, or I should say, buying video games with, through I would say like the microtransactions, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, buying off of the store online, you know what I'm saying? I'm starting to see all the big problems and issues with it. And this is why I'm going to tell you, PlayStation and Sony and Microsoft, that you need to go kick rocks, man. Because now I'm starting to see what the real problem is here. You can remove video games anytime you want to. Or, for instance, there's another issue I want to talk about. I'm going to get back on topic. That this also has to do with the problem with what gaming is today. You know what I'm saying? Because what gaming is today for what PlayStation and Microsoft want, it's a bunch of weak sauce. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of yellow belly stuff that's been going on with the gaming industry. And I'm talking directly to you CEOs who are doing this stuff as well. I'm talking directly to you because we're not playing with you anymore, man. So I'm gonna get into it, and this is something I don't want to bring up, but after I'm done with it, after like a good 50 seconds or a minute or whatever it is, I can get into all the other stuff that has to do with the same problem. So what I've already started talking about is, you know, Microsoft, they've become way too aggressive with banning people and for the stupidest reasons. So what I'm talking about is even for PlayStation as well. Saying they've been getting off the rails as well. So let's say I'm going to say this. Let's say, for instance, you're having a conversation with someone, your friends or your family members, and it's on a private, it's on private, right? For your settings, and you're on a mic, or it's just texting back and forth, whatever it is. Let's say, for instance, you talk about something that has to do with homosexuality. You could be talking about you don't like how there's homosexuality being put into video games, and then they can ban you for that, right? Well, here's what I'm talking about. Here, it's not just about homosexuality. I'm talking about there could be someone on the other line who works for Microsoft or PlayStation, and it just so happens that it could be that person who's working for PlayStation or Microsoft, they might be biased and say, "Oh, you're talking about homosexuality? Oh, well, you know what I'm saying?" And then they can get in their feelings, right? And it could probably be something about. It's not really about them talking trash about homosexuality. Maybe it could just be them telling the truth about it, whatever it is, right? Or you know how people are, they just joke around or whatever, what have you. But someone that decides to get biased, that has too much power, decides, you know what, we're gonna ban you because you talked about something I didn't like. But this, like I said, now I'm gonna get into how this also goes into all this other stuff when it comes to banning people and gaming in general. Like, this is a bunch of foolishness. But I said, you know what I'm saying? I want to let people know something, right? The type of person I am, there are people like me. We don't put up with this stuff. I'm not talking about, see, I might be discussing this stuff, but I don't just talk. I actually put forth the work too. I don't just sit here and talk behind the screen. I do something about the matter and the issue. So what I'm going to start doing, right, is I said, forget this stuff going on with these new gen consoles, like the new PS5 and the new Xbox One X or Scorpio or whatever it's called, right? I said, you know what I'm gonna do, PlayStation and Microsoft and Sony? You know what I decided to do? I'm gonna start going back to retro gaming, right? Because now when I go to retro gaming, whatever I play, whatever I choose to put in my game console, I can do it offline. So I don't got to worry about someone banning me. I can play whatever game I want to without losing my save data or without losing all the games that I purchased. I don't got to worry about that. I play whatever I want to when I want to. And no one's going to tell me what to do. No one's gonna push anything on me. No one's gonna push some uh, trash, foolishness agenda on me or anyone else. I said, what we're gonna start doing is we're gonna boycott. And I said, what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna start buying old school consoles and then start playing old school video games. You know what I'm saying? And Microsoft and PlayStation, they're not going to be able to sit there and try and ban me off of that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's offline. They can't do anything about that, right? But I'm just letting you know how it really is, because this is getting out of hand now. I just talked to someone recently, right? And I can't say where this was. You know what I'm saying? It's confidential. But this is someone that I know, right? And usually he's in a good mood. He plays video games. He has he has a PS5. I was trying to think what console he has, but yeah, it's a PS5. And he purchases his own video games on, on the PlayStation Store, right? So I asked, but this day, right, he looks like he's in a bad mood. And the other people that are around us, we're just wondering, like, what's going on? Because he's usually not like this. He's usually talking. He was just like, you could see it in his face that he was, just down. Like he looked like he was depressed or something. And finally, at least maybe it took like 3 or 4 hours, and he just finally said something about what was bothering him. And what was bothering him was that he got banned on the PlayStation Store. So yes, you can get another account, right? But that doesn't help when you spent like probably over $300 on video games on the PlayStation Store, right? Or even on the Microsoft Store, right? So now you have to get a new account, and you can't get back your save data. You can't get back your games. All that money you spent down the drain. So what this person said is that he got banned because, so now I don't know all the details, but supposedly he said that he wanted a refund because of some, I guess, 2 games that he bought, or a game that he bought, one of the 2. He bought a game. He made a purchase on whatever video game on the store. And I guess for some reason he didn't like it, or I guess, something that wasn't to his liking. He wanted a refund. So what PlayStation decides to do is they decide to ban him because he wanted a refund. Like I said, I don't know all the details, but it's the fact alone that, someone who's representative of PlayStation or Microsoft can just do this stuff and say, oh, they just ban you, and then you can't have access to your games that you paid for. I said, see, this is what I'm talking about. You got PlayStation people on over here at PlayStation and Microsoft. They got way too much power. So now this is what I'm saying here. See, I don't whine and cry and complain. No. No. I'll tell you what the problem is, right? And if, what I'm saying, and by the way, I have no problem telling people like Microsoft or PlayStation or whoever. I have no problem telling you to your face what the problem is, because I'm a real man. I'm a real adult. I will tell you to your face what the problem is, right? So I'm not afraid of that. But here's the thing, right? You know what I'm saying? I will say this to you, PlayStation or Microsoft. If you got a problem with me or something, you want to talk to me face to face, let's do that. You want to talk to me on the phone or something, we can do that. I got no problem or issues with that. I'm not afraid of anybody. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I'm afraid of is Jesus Christ. That's the only thing I'm really afraid of. I'm not afraid to tell you what the problem is. So what I'm saying is, for all these problems that are going on, right? I said about how I don't cry or whine about it. I say what the problem is, and so I also do something about the problem. So what I'm going to do now is say, you know what? I'll just buy an old school gaming console. I already have an old school PS2, right? So, and I just started, I'm going to start doing more retro gaming because, we're tired of this. We're tired of this weak sauce. What's it called? A good way to explain it. This weak sauce generation of gaming. That's what it's become. And even then, I'm saying, it's just like what I'm going to also talk about is the ESG stuff. It's going too far. The ESG stuff that's being put in our video games is going way too far, because it's getting to the point where I paid for a video game, right? let's say I pay $60 for it. And then next thing I know, let's like a good example is like Final Fantasy, the new Final Fantasy games that are out right now for Final Fantasy 7. You know what I'm saying? For the sequels or prequels or what do you call whatever you want to call it, remakes and stuff. Now all of a sudden, these game developers can go directly inside the video game and change the way a female character looks. So they'll downgrade what the character looks like. See, this is what I'm talking about. What I have a problem with, right, is that if I paid money for something or a video game and you have the nerve to go in there and change something that I paid for, what was the point of me paying you money for in the first place? You knew what I bought the game for. I mean, you know exactly why I bought, one of the reasons why I bought the game for. Then you go and start doing some sneaky yellow belly tactics and go, switching everything. See, this is the problem. You know what I'm saying? These game developers can just change whatever they want to. Or even like on PlayStation, Microsoft, these companies can change whatever they want to. These CEOs can change whatever they want to because of all that power that they have, right? When it comes to, games that are online or whatever it is that's on those consoles on the store. You know what I'm saying? On the system and stuff like that. So, and this is the problem I have, even with these now how video games are becoming more live service. All the issues, I'm going to talk about Ubisoft talking trash, talking about, saying, you will own nothing and you will like it. Y'all, you know what, Ubisoft? We will not purchase and you will like it. You will lose money and you will like it. Same goes for all you other gaming companies. Like I said, I got no problem talking to any of you face to face. I got no problem. Even if it was FaceTime, I got no problem talking to you. To you head CEOs, I got no problem with it. I said, and you know what? It didn't even have to escalate to this. It didn't have to get to this point. But now people like me, we just gotten tired of it. And we said, well, you know what? We're going to say something out about it and we're going to do something about it. And I said, this is why I started doing all this boycotting stuff with these game consoles and stuff. Because it's a bunch of foolishness, man. And it doesn't make any sense for why it's like this in the first place. It didn't need, it's unnecessary. It's unethical. But I said, you know what? You know what I'm saying? You companies want to keep pushing your agendas and stuff like that. I said, that's whatever, man. That's all right. We'll just go back. I said, you know what I'm saying? If you want to do that, go ahead. Because what we're going to do, we're going to start playing retro video games. You know what I'm saying? You want to keep on playing around. You want to keep on leading people on. What we're going to do is we're going to start doing retro gaming, right? And post those video games. We're going to talk about those video games instead of your video games that you're trying to promote. We're going to, you know what I'm saying? We're going to start promoting old school consoles instead of these new consoles. Let people know, yeah, this is better than PS5. Oh, yeah, the OG Xbox. Oh, yeah, it's better than what the new Xbox is today. Oh, OG PS2. It's better than the old, the new PS5 today. I'm not joking. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what I'm starting to do now. Because we're not playing games with you anymore. We're not going to put up with your foolishness anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you right now to you head CEOs, you don't tell us what to do. You don't control us. You don't run us. We run the block. You don't run nothing. Tell you like it is, man. I'm just letting you know we're not playing with you anymore. And I need to say this because it's just like, you're really going to sit there and ban people on PlayStation or Microsoft, right? When it comes to the group chats or whatever it is, even if it's on private. And it's just like, you're going to ban people for something that was none of your business in the first place? You for real? For whatever people are talking about, I said, it was none of your business in the first place. But I said, that's all right. I said, that's why a lot of us have already gotten smart enough to say, you know what, okay, we'll just use our cell phones to start talking from now on instead of using these group chat mics. So what I'm saying is now is, it's a waste of money because why waste money on a mic if you can't even use it? Why waste your money on a mic if you're gonna sit there and start doing all these little, like these stakeouts or whatever it is, and you wanna be like there's a word for it as well. You want to be an eavesdropper, right? I'm just saying, man, you got to do all this foolishness? You gotta do all these yellow belly tactics. I'm just saying, you gotta listen to everything that people are doing or saying, right? And it could be something that's just minor, and you'll just go over the rails. But I said, you know what? That's cool, man. That's all right. We'll just use our cell phones. We'll use some other applications or whatever it is, because people are not gonna put up with it anymore, man. I'm gonna tell you like it is. People are done playing games with you. Like I said, wasting all that money because you wanted to be nosy and get in someone else's business. It's one thing to protect people if that's what you're doing is truly protecting people, but if not, man, you need to get out of here with that. You need to go somewhere else and sit down, man. For real talk.